You know, anytime somebody thinks of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first thing that you think of is Leatherface, right? After all, he is the poster child of this entire franchise. And the first thing you think of is, well, he's obviously the villain, he's the antagonist, or is he? I can already hear people. How can he not be evil? He chops people up with a chainsaw. He eats them. So how can he not be the villain? And as the title of this video suggests, he's not the main villain. Yes, now we could associate him as a villain, but he's not the villain. He's not the main villain. In fact, let's play a game, right? I want you to comment below who you think is the worst and most the definition of evil in terms of the family member from the Sawyer family. I'm going to name who I think it is later on, but comment right now and we'll see if you're right later on. No cheating. Okay, let's see if you're right. We'll find out later on. But you know, Leatherface, or from the second Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, he's named Bubba. Great name, by the way. Isn't the main villain. In fact, I struggle to say the word villain with him in it. Yes, he's terrifying. He's scary. I mean, somebody chasing you with a chainsaw. What's not scary about that, right? But in terms of character, Leatherface, how I could describe him as that would make sense, right? I've got it. Basically, Leatherface is a character with severe mental disabilities, right? Even the actor, the original actor that played as Leatherface, said it. He said that Leatherface has really bad mental disabilities. And the actor actually observed real, genuine people with, with mental disabilities and disorders. So, taking that into consideration for Leatherface, does that make him the villain? Does it make him not the villain? Not necessarily. Now, I'm not saying that people with mental disabilities are villains. Don't anybody take that out of context. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the reason that Leatherface is the way he is because of his family. That's why he does what he does. I mean, come on, you're being brought up by inbred cannibals. You're gonna slay some bitches now and again out of frustration, right? But Leatherface is more like a puppet, per se, right? The best way to describe it is, right? Let's put this into a real life scenario, right? Leatherface, right? Okay, a hitchhiker, right? Let's take ferret hunting as the example, right? The ferret goes into the hole, right? The rabbit hole. The ferret, being a hitchhiker, goes in, scares the rabbit out. As soon as the rabbit is out in the open, they let the dog go. And the dog, being Leatherface, let go to chase after. That's basically what Leatherface is. He's not the main villain. He's not the main antagonist. He's not He's basically the dog. I mean, Chop Top even says it in the second movie. Dog will hunt.
Dog will hunt. Get that bitch, Leatherface. Get that bitch. Dog will hunt.
So that kind of says it, really, doesn't it? It's like even the director of the first and second movie said it. He said that Leatherface does not kill out of malice. He doesn't do it maliciously. He kills people out of fear. And the fear is from his family. I mean, how many times in the first, let's say, the first three movies, right? For example, the first three movies, how many times have you seen Leatherface get bullied by his own family? Like either mocked, hit with a broom, have shit taken off him, like in the third one. You imagine growing up with that, with a severe mental disability, and that's what you grow up with, and they're the ones killing people and are teaching you how to do it, but they're like you can only imagine what he grew up with. Like if he said no to killing people, as the director said, he does it out of fear. So that implicates that if he didn't do it growing up, he would have been punished. And you just have to look at his family to imagine what that punishment was. So, therefore, his family, they're the main villains. Leatherface is just the puppet. He's just the dog that they let go to chase the rabbit. So, in that sense, anytime anybody thinks of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they only think of Leatherface because he's the most iconic character, design wise. And what's fascinating, but he's definitely not the main villain. Family totally are. Like, even the cook. I know you look at the cook and you think, he's tame as fuck. He doesn't even kill people. Yeah, he brings people to the house, lowers them there. Like when he took Sally back to the house. I mean, that's as good as killing them, right? You're involved. But he's still more of a villain. Even though physically the Leatherface is more intimidating, the cook is still more of a villain. If you really expand your mind and you really think about it, think of Leatherface as just a puppet. He's just there like chopping up the bodies. Probably, he chops the bodies up. The cook obviously cooks them. He has his part in the household, but and you can easily say that scene in the first movie when the guy runs into the house, trips over, and Leatherface appears with that big ass hammer, and some guy just broke into his house, and he did it out of fear. Like the director said, out of fear. Hence why after he did it, after he ran into the living room and he was panicking. That's genuine fear. That's not doing all that just for the sake of, oh, look at me, I'm evil. No, that's genuine fear. What if the family comes back and they find out about this? See, that's not a main villain. Now I know the Netflix movie did try to turn him into a main villain. They tried to cash off on Halloween 2018. Trying to bring Sally back years later, and they tried to make him evil and menacing, but the biggest mistake that they tried to make was they made him far too smart. They made him far too much like Michael and Jason, like setting traps, doing all this. You watch the original three, he didn't do any of that. you know. So that for me, that's why that movie failed because they didn't understand the lore of this character, and you know, I don't think it would have worked anywhere. It just doesn't fit the character. It doesn't fit at all. So that's what I think anyway. I think it's the only reason he's the poster child is because he is the main reason he is the poster child is because he looks the most menacing. That's pretty much it. you know, and he is an interesting character, and I know we've had a couple of beginning stories and origin stories, but I would like one to really look into his upbringing with the Sawyer family. You know, seeing how they like treated him and punished him and taught him how to kill and why he turned warped. Like properly. Not just he got his jaw ripped off, puts his mask on, suddenly he's evil now. No, that's bullshit. Give us a proper in-depth look. And yeah, that's what I think. So before I wrap this up, did you put your comment in? Eh? So the evilest member of the Sawyer family, in my opinion, and it's been heavily implied in the early movies, is Grandpa. Of course. Of course it's Grandpa. He was the best killer back in the day, remember? And it all started with him. Who's not to say that the family was perfectly normal before him? Just saying. Could have started with him. So did you get it right? Let me know. Did you get it right? I'll be looking through the comments to see. But yeah, so let me know what your opinion of Leatherface is. Do you think he's a genuine villain? Do you think it doesn't matter? He still kills people, so fuck it, he's still the villain? Or what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. We'll talk about it. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I wholeheartedly appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. And as always, don't kill anyone.